Nick presents Frasier. Interior, Frasier's supposedly worthwhile living room. Frasier enters wearing his pondering suit. He laughs triumphantly into the corridor. Frasier exits. Martin and Eddie arrive at the apartment. They both rush into the kitchen. As they wrestle over a half-eaten donut, the camera pans over to Frasier in his bedroom, holding his ear to the wall. Frasier, I'm listening. The phone rings. Frasier returns to the living room and answers it. He looks confused. Frasier, I'm sorry, this isn't Edward's Fashions. Yes, I'm sure it is not. I'm a psychiatrist with a woman interest who's a bit of a pretentious sociopath. It's pretty accurate so far. Frasier hangs up the phone and looks at it with disgust. Martin triumphantly staggers out of the kitchen. Martin, who was there? Frasier, it was a mistake. They were trying to find some place to buy English boys' pants. Martin, well, that's fine. There isn't anything complicated about that. It's a little misunderstanding. Frasier, this is the ultimate offense to my dignity. Niles enters, slightly smooths his hair, and looks at Frasier expectantly. Niles, Frasier, I don't want to impose, but Maris is quite keen on your eyes. I have to take your eyes, or she take mine. Frasier, I need eyes. You do your work on the phone, so you don't. No, Niles, I bought this apartment for the view of the Space Needle. Although I am very disappointed I can't touch it from here. Frasier holds out his arm toward the skyline and starts weeping softly. Martin, I would like chili for dinner. Frasier immediately composed. Over Niles' dead body. Niles, just pour the chili over me. That should do the trick. Martin, if we pour the chili on dead Niles, can I still have some? Frasier, Dad! Martin produces an enormous cut of meat. Martin, this big ham is my favorite, son. You guys are too fancy and bad. Interior, Daphne's canopy bed at night. Daphne is lying in bed, asleep and shivering. She turns and mouths, Frasier, to the camera, and still entirely asleep. Begin dream sequence. Interior, Frasier's living room, 6 years after Cheers. Daphne is folding Martin even though he is obviously not being ironed. What? She looks down at him for a long beat, then notices Frasier staring at them. Frasier, you don't know how to iron my dad? Frasier gasps twice. Daphne, I can't believe you would even ask me to iron this old fogey. Martin, it's no problem. I didn't want you to make me a nice smooth guy, so that's fine. Martin rolls himself up and puts himself behind the counter. End of dream sequence. Interior, Daphne's canopy bed morning. Daphne wakes up laughing and sweating. Daphne, oh Daphne Moon, no sprinkler system can put out the fire in your head. Interior, Cafe Nervosa when Frasier is there. Everyone in Cafe Nervosa covers their ears as the man who swallowed spiders once again proves himself a braggart. Frasier, oh come on, he's average. I remember the one who might own Rembrandt's. Roz, you know what, Frasier? Fancy espresso and proudly difficult discompositions aren't the same thing as being happy. Frasier, Roz, you've been with a man a minute for a while. You know Ned and his little toes? You could just get into bed with any outdoorsman in your community. Roz, I'm giving advice that you could use, Frasier, and you just called me a slut to shut me down. Frasier, haven't you ever seen the show? That is exactly what I do on Frasier. Interior, Frasier's living room. Now's his birthday, but nobody notices. Martin rolls open the window and gently sticks his head out of it. Also, Frasier is there. Martin, you think I was afraid of that damn painting? I wasn't afraid. I thought you were my son, Frasier. Frasier, I fancy. Martin cutting him off. Isn't proper grammar. Am I? I am fancy. Oh, Niles, how dare you? He isn't even wearing his fancy shirt today. Daphne enters carrying a cake. She places the cake on a balcony and throws it over the rail. Niles, well, Dad, you never thanked Maris for the dinner that you were not at. It's all very complicated, but she suffered in the kitchen drawer. Now, she's stuffed. Martin, she'll have too much room in there. Better put her in a box for mattress. No need to take the mattress off. Frasier, it's a good thing there is no spark between you. Phone rings. Frasier answers the phone. He laughs angrily, hangs up the phone. Interior Frasier's living room. Closing credits. Tossed salads and scrambled egg plays. Frasier sits by the phone, his eyes wide with paranoid fear. Behind him, Eddie stares just as intently at Frasier. Martin enters and shows Eddie his leash. Eddie barks, causing Frasier to jump into the ceiling. He's dead! He's dead! Oh, Daphne takes the iron out of the refrigerator and touches it to her forehead. Fades out. Oh, well done. Oh my God.